Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. Jacalyn. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. Jacalyn at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. I'm the president and founder of this channel and network, and it is such a pleasure to have you with us. Our show today is a woman's prerogative. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. This show is a show for women, by women, and about women. We have a smaller group with us today, and that's okay because we get more time to actually dig into our topic. Let's welcome our panelists. Joining us is JENETTA Barry and the Epiphany Process. Welcome, JENETTA.
Hi, Dr. Jacalyn. Hello, everybody, to our viewers and listeners. Pleasure to be back. And as you say, to dig into this topic will be very interesting.
And thank you, JENETTA. For those of you who haven't been with us all day, this is JENETTA's third show today. We started early this morning here in the United States with the show that we do together, The Art of Creating Mental Health Wealth. And then JENETTA had her own show, Talking Heads, and now here she is as a panelist. So welcome back.
Thank you. As always, great to be back.
And JENETTA is joining us from East Africa, correct?
Absolutely spot on.
All right, wonderful.
Yeah, and I'm right in the middle of the Rift Valley.
A beautiful area. You've shown me some pictures and videos. I absolutely love it. And you're staying up late. So thank you on all accounts for being here.
Okay.
And we also have Dr. DESZIREE Richardson. She's joining us from London, and she is in charge of a platform called WOHA. We're going to hear more about that and also about the Epiphany Process. Let's welcome Dr. DESZIREE.
Hi everyone. Hi. Once again, I'm so grateful to be here. And of course, to all of our viewers watching all across the globe. You know, it's a beautiful panel tonight, as always, and we're here to rock. We're here to bring you the messages that impact, especially for women. It's a show by women, for women, and of course, with women. And as you may know, or you do not know, I am the founder of Women of Heart Foundation, Women of Heart Awards, Face of WOHA, and GOHA, which is Gentlemen of Heart Awards. And all of these platforms uplift, educate, inspire, empower humanity, and also in so many different shapes and forms. So once again, it's lovely to be here.
Thank you, Dr. DESZIREE. You and JENETTA are both doing great work helping other people. Dr. DESZIREE, I'd like to just quickly go to you for a weather update. What is the weather like in London now? How are people managing?
I think today, yesterday was a 40 degrees. It was quite hot. Even now, I'm sitting down with a fan next to me, so it's still a bit sticky. Not so bad as last night. Oh my goodness, this was just terrible. You want to have more than 4 showers a day. That's how hot and sticky it was for the last couple of days, especially the last 2 days. Yes.
Thank you. For those of you, 40 is Celsius, and that is about 100 degrees here in Fahrenheit. So that's a hot one. Okay, we have one other panelist with us, CATHY Fulton, and she is backstage, but she's on a call. So let's get into our topic, which is basically talking about economic downturn and how it impacts women. So when you think about inflation, recession, or any other thing that can happen to an economy, maybe the at least here in the States, if the stock market takes a turn, wherever you are in the world, we obviously have indicators that have an impact on our economy. So it could be supply chain issues, it could be gasoline prices, whatever it might be. How do you feel it impacts women maybe differently than others? Who would like to start?
I think
I'm
that,
happy to start.
yeah,
Okay.
You go. You.
yes, yeah.
Go ahead,
I
Desiree.
mean, when the economy is on a downfall, I think it has a great impact on women, especially women in the business, because women has always been, it had always been a struggle for us as entrepreneurs to even have, to have startups, to get through the business industry. So I think the downfall, you mean starting up is always is always a situation where it's been very challenging for women in business. So any challenging downfall in the economy will have such a great negative impact on women in business. But women are striving. We are definitely striving. We don't give up. But economy downfall is going to have a negative impact on us in so many different ways, um, and I think it's just going to be disastrous for us, mostly women in business.
Thank you, Dr. Desiree. JENETTA, what would you like to share? You're on mute.
I agree with Dr. Desiree, very definitely that way. I'd actually say that it cuts both ways. You know me and my balance on both sides. And it cuts both ways in that it can give opportunity for women to really shine, because you have to reinvent yourself, think outside that proverbial box, and make things happen without having to rely on other people or other things. And some amazing things have come out of economic downturns. Having said all that, I also think it all depends on where that particular woman is at the time of the downturn. If she's a disempowered woman, without many skill sets behind her and feeling very compromised, it might actually compromise that person even more. So I think it depends where the woman is at that stage of what's happening. Although there have been some women who are really at ground zero and just about living on the street who have turned themselves around. But it's really difficult when you are already disempowered or compromised with your skill sets, may not even be as down as in the street, but just maybe abused or generally compromised by the society. It can make it very difficult to turn it around. But again, it's on the person. One person might go, I'm stuck in this and this is my lot. And another might actually say, you know what, this is my opportunity, even though they may not believe it to begin with, but they're determined to try. So I think whether there's a downturn in the economy or not, it all depends on the person, their personality, and the circumstances that they're set in at that time.
Thank you, JENETTA and Dr. Desiree, both for your thoughtful answers. We have CATHY Fulton, who is joining us now. Hi, CATHY. You're on mute.
My apologies.
That's okay. So, CATHY, I don't know if you heard the question. Basically, we're talking about how economic downturn, whatever that looks like in whatever country people are in, how that impacts women potentially differently than others.
I don't really know that just at first thought, I don't see how it would really impact me as a female different from a male. But maybe I'm missing something because I didn't hear the other responses. Just in terms, the two things that come to mind, the cost of groceries, but the most staggering really is, well, that's staggering enough, but then the cost of gas is just outrageous. So, it's getting harder and harder to feed your family. It's getting, it's very thought-provoking every time you go to the gas station to fill up. your car. And I mean, I just did both of those things yesterday. I walked out of the grocery store and paid close to $300 for really not that much. And then it's $100 just to fill up my car. So, I mean, I could be missing something. I wish I'd heard what the others said.
That's okay. There's no right or wrong answer. That you gave your experience, which is great. I also went to the grocery store yesterday, and it was like $350. And it's interesting in New Jersey that the state mandate is that you're not allowed to have bags when you go to a store. So there's no grocery bags like there used to be. So you have to either bring your own bags or buy bags for $1. So I brought 3 bags and I needed like 6 because I didn't realize. So you end up just putting all the stuff in the cart and then taking and putting each individual thing. But I digress. So
we have to buy bags here.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Unless you want to bring your own bags. Yeah. And I don't know.
It's here too. In fact, it's illegal to have a plastic bag here in Kenya. You can be fined a huge amount of money to have a plastic bag in your home or anywhere around you.
Oh, interesting.
So is the plastic?
Yeah, they brought that in about 5 years ago. They legislated it.
Well, look how far ahead of us you are. That's amazing. What about Dr. DESZIREE in the UK or in London? Are you allowed to have plastic bags?
Yes, but you do have to now pay for your plastic bag, your shopping bag. You do have to pay for it when you go to the shop. So this is something that has been going on for quite a while now. So, some people, like sometimes when I go shopping, I normally will reuse some of the plastic bags because it saves, every penny in these challenging times is so important because without the 1 penny, you can't make up the 100. So, you just have to save every little thing that you have for a rainy day. And these are crucial times right now because everything has gone up, according to CATHY, their gas is up, food has gone up like sky high, So, even the local bakery, prices has gone up on bread, on, different things, sandwiches, and it's just like, wow, everything has gone up. So it's just getting a bit kind of, I wouldn't say kind of, it's getting really harder in terms of, the economy. Everything has gone sky high. And we just need to balance out everything and to be very careful on how we're budgeting, how we're spending, our spending habits, more into saving for a rainy day. The elders used to say, think about tomorrow, think about next week, think about when, there's something might happen. So y'all have to put something aside for, the rainy day because things are really getting to the next level where it's getting really difficult in terms of even food has really gone up, at this stage.
Dr. DESZIREE, how much is as a gallon, not a gallon in your country? What is the measurement of gas? A liter of gas? How much is it?
I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure on how much it is. So I will have to double check on that. I'm not quite sure because many gas stations, they might be selling at a different price per liter, but I'm sure that has gone up tremendously.
I think it was $10 a liter at some point. So maybe somebody can look that up and let me know. Okay, so question I have, knowing that across the world, we're just hearing the price of food is sky high, gasoline is high, everything is going up. As a business owner, do you then have to increase your price because now you're paying more for X, Y, and Z, so you have to pass it on to your customer?
I think, you have to have a balance. Like I said, you have to think about, what you're spending for your product or your services. And you have to think about tax. You have to also think about your bills. And of course, so everything has to be balanced to know what you're spending and what you're able to, to get back in return. So it's about having that balance and pricing to make sure that so you have to look at what the prices are in the market and kind of balance everything out to, to be truthful to your customers and also to be truthful to your business as well.
Thank you, Dr. Desiree. Kathy, JENETTA, would either of you like to comment?
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
I'd like to comment. Oh,
sorry,
well,
go ahead, Kathy.
Yeah, no, I mean, mine's pretty short and sweet. It's, yeah, I mean, if you have to raise your prices, you have to raise your prices. I mean, you can't lose business. I mean, or you can't lose money. I mean, what's the point of being in business? And so if people don't want to trade with you because you've increased your prices, then, I mean, my position is that's the way it goes. I can't trade dollars. I can't offer a service and lose money. I mean, I'm certainly open to negotiating things, but I could stay home and not make any money. So.
Thank you. JENETTA.
yeah, I think I'm really showing my age here because, recessions and downturns have happened so many times in my lifetime, both here in Africa and in UK when I've been there. And they're trends, they're cycles, they go up and down and in and out. And I can remember from an early age, my father talking about who was born the year the Titanic sank, about, things something costing a penny was a lot of money. So it's all relative. And I remember him saying it's all relative. And it kind of is. And as much as I'm generalizing, and I'm certainly by no means saying that there isn't a problem and it isn't a challenge, but I've watched us as nations, us as global citizens, weather it each time, and then something happens and it normalizes a little bit, and something else happens and it comes and it goes. So I just feel it's about being able to handle it. And in terms of how I handle when there's a downturn like this, I do think prices do need to go up, but it's with a caution and with an open-hearted, well, now's the time to maybe over-deliver a little bit more than I normally would, because I know that it's roundabout and swings. So I tend to do that little bit more in a downturn. Not that I'm not doing a lot before. It's not like I'm sitting in an upturn going, oh, well, this is fine and I'll sit back. But I do notice that in a downturn, it inspires me to deliver that little bit more, because people are in a tricky situation, and that's the open-hearted thing to do. That's what I've noticed personally.
Thank you, JENETTA. And you said a couple of things that really got me thinking. One is that our dear friend Madeline Chan, she and I teach a course together about transformation, transition. You've taken the course, and talk about trends, and trends being part of a 3D world of capitalism, materialism, versus moving into a 5D world where you're leading with your heart. And I feel like that's what you just said, that these trends come and go. And when we get caught up in them, we're actually getting caught up in our ego and in putting that value in money as opposed to putting our value in people. What are your thoughts about that?
Absolutely. I so agree, because when I've been in these trends before and my heart has been heavy, then life has got very hard and it's been really difficult to pay the bills. When I open up myself to the possibility that the universe is guiding and leading and sees that bigger picture, amazing synchronicities start happening. And in fact, right now that's happening to Andy and me. I mean, during COVID, we were locked down together 24/7 for months and months and months, and all his work went to ground zero. And everybody around us now is going, lack of funds, everything's expensive, and yet his flow has come back in spite of all that. And it's, in fact, he rang me tonight to say that even more businesses come in today, and it's flowing beautifully, and it's his time to flow in this economic downturn. And I really believe it's how we are able to see that bigger picture and appreciate that there's more to what we see in front of our noses.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Would anyone else like to comment? Okay, we can move on to another topic then. So when we think about being business owners, okay, all of us are business owners. Maybe you have thrived during the pandemic. Maybe you had to readapt, readjust, whatever the case may be. But we always have to think about supporting one another. And so my question is, do you feel that women, in your experience in this world today, are more supportive of each other? Or do you still feel like what I felt many times, even working in the corporate world, that a woman may put a smile on her face and stab you in the back?
I definitely think that there is a lot of work to be done, and which is why I created such platforms, and to break the ice for better working relationship among business women. And and as a leader, it's all about encouraging, supporting, and uplifting other women. I believe in that. I believe in like I'm definitely against working from the ego and the perils of the ego, and to replace this with being more kind, and being more caring, and being more supportive, and always holding your sister hand and taking her to the next level of success. I believe that sometimes we as women, we tend to to be insecure sometimes, or we feel superior, or sometimes even inferior of another person. But it's not a good thing to do, to feel inferior or to feel superior. I think you should always be considerate about someone else's feelings, and once you're being considerate of other people's feeling, and it's a way of saying that yes, you're inviting them into your space, into your world, and how you can work together to help each other, and how you can pave the way for other women as well. So I believe in equality when it comes on women's or in diversity and inclusion. This is something that I'm really passionate about. So there's still some work to be done. I think as leaders, we have to take the mantle and break the ice for true bringing more awareness in the workplace, in the job place, and ensuring that women are more empowered, and they don't feel living in fear and insecurity, and there's enough abundance in the world for everyone. And it's about really knowing your true value and how to add more of it into your life, and supporting other women as well is going to really help you to expand your horizons. So I believe in togetherness. I believe in harmony, and I think that there's still fear. Women are still working from the fear base, and feeling insecure, and feeling a bit egotistical, that they are on the top of the ladder, and there's no room for other women to improve and to come up. So I believe in making way for others and paving the way, and building a legacy so that other women can also continue on that same journey, and that same path, to help other women to discover who they are, and working for the betterment of society on a whole, and the betterment of the world at large. So women coming together, this is something that we definitely need to work on. There's still a little bit more work to be done, but we're heading there because of technology, because of diversity and inclusion, because of platforms. So we're getting there. We are empowering women. We are empowering in unity. So this is something that we definitely need to continuously working on, coming concurrently as women.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your perspective. Kathy, what do you think? We put a smile on our face and we got a knife in your back.
Gosh, I wish that I really felt that the pandemic had changed things for the relationships, with women. And I don't think that it's changed anything whatsoever. I think I just I'm glad that I work, and I'm glad that I'm busy with that, because if I tried to busy myself with friendships, and for me it would just be a disaster, because I get so frustrated when someone plays like they are very supportive and very interested and really want to be your friend, but then it turns on a dime. I mean, just to kind of give you an example, last week, and this is surrounding my own mom. Okay. So, and I think that I've made it abundantly clear she has some cognitive impairment, but still, I don't think that there's any excuse for this. Long story short, I had taken her to the design center with me for the day. She loves to look at fabrics. She loves to look at colors, and she loves to do all that and voice her opinion. And it's, I mean, there's so many fabrics, so much to look at down there. And so wheeled her around in the wheelchair. I was trying to make sure that she could see everything and was really clued in on the project. And so after being there about, I guess, 6 hours, we get in the car and we're driving home. And so I said, so did you have fun? Was this a good day? And so she says, well, it was better than sitting at home all day. And I'm thinking, I don't know of many 91-year-old women that get to go to the Washington, D.C. Design Center and hang out all day and look at beautiful furniture and look at beautiful fabrics and talk about the latest trends and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I got off that subject, and I was wearing an outfit that was tangerine and lilac, and that's kind of a different combination for me, at least in my wardrobe. And so I just changed the subject, and I was like, so what do you think about these colors together? Because she likes to mix and match colors. And she said, well, I'm going to be completely honest with you. And I'm like gripping the steering wheel, knowing that it's coming, whatever it is, it's coming, and it's not going to feel good. And I'm on 66 in 5 o'clock traffic. And I mean, she just told me, you look fat. So, and this is my own mother who says this, but I mean, it's just so, I don't know.
So you're saying it starts at home. It even starts at home, that we can't get support from the females in our lives.
There's always, yeah. And I mean, with my mom, I think I shared with you guys about the rolling pin comment on my hips. And, I mean, yeah, so it does start at home. And then you wonder why girls have anorexia or bulimia. I mean, those comments aren't easy to just dust off.
No. And I've met you in person, and there's no way that it's the furthest thing from the truth. So.
Well, here's the thing about it. This is the way that I look at body types and just who you are, who we are. We all have a mirror. We're all naked at some point, right? Because we're going to hop in the shower. So you can't help but catch a glimpse of this or a glimpse of that. All right. So I'd like to, but then I'd fall getting in the shower. Then that'd be a whole different conversation. And, you look at this, it's like, I'm 60s closing in, stuff changes. It's not all real attractive. I'm so thankful for Spanx. I'm so thankful for push up this and, shrink in that and poof up that. I mean, go. Please invent more of that stuff. But it's like, so my point is, we're all aware of our flaws, right? I mean, and we all do our best just to pull ourselves together, glue ourselves together, Spanx it, you know, whatever, pull it all together and get out the door and put a smile on our face. And but you just don't need to be beat down at home about this isn't right or that isn't right. You know, you just want to go, I know. Okay, I know, and what? I mean, would any female elect to have cellulite? No. I don't really. When I get to heaven someday, I'm going to ask God, what is up with this? What was the point other than to humiliate us? I mean, really? Couldn't we have done it a different way? I mean,
now wait, I have a question because I watched a YouTube video about cellulite versus atrophied muscles. There's a difference. So I'm going with atrophied muscles.
Okay, I probably got it. I probably have both or a double dose. I don't know, but it's like, you know, but really, I mean, you look at this stuff and it's like, what was God thinking? There's never been a book written about that. You know, what God's plan was with cellulite. I mean, because guys don't have it, and I don't think it's fair. I really don't. Men need some humility.
Noted. I agree with you. And thank you for sharing that. That's great. I have just a comment, which I think is really interesting when you're talking about women. And most of the people I interact with are on the computer, right? Because this is what I'm doing all the time. But I have actually interacted with women in person. And what I find so interesting is, so what have you been up to? What are you doing? So I share, you know, in a humble way what I'm doing. No questions. And I'm thinking later, I don't know, how many people do you know who started a television and radio platform with people all over? Not a single question, nothing. How'd you do it? What's going on? Or I wrote these books. Don't even ask the title. Nothing. I think to myself, I don't know what it is. And then I was beating myself up. And I thought, you know what? I don't need people to validate me because I validate myself. But in terms of being gracious and having a conversation with people, that's pretty typical. Hey, you talk and tell me about you. I'm going to listen. Then I'm going to talk and you're going to listen. But I don't find that happening. And especially with women. I don't know what that means.
Because, I'll tell you exactly what it means. Hang on, Jenetta. I'm going to tell you exactly what it means.
Okay.
Like I have a feeling Jenetta and I are going to say the exact same things, except she'll say it much more eloquently. And I mean that as a compliment. So, but here's the down and dirty version. Okay. Most women are shallow. Most women are jealous. Okay. So they're jealous. I don't know of anybody. I'm from small town USA. So, but I don't know of anyone that's ever started anything like this. And I hope you remember and recall the times that I have been like in awe, because I remain in awe. I think that this is amazing what you've done. And I'm so excited to be a part of it. But it's jealousy, Dr. Jacalyn. It's jealousy. And people don't ask the questions because the more that they ask, the worse they're going to feel about themselves. And as to where, like, people like me and the other women that are on this panel, like when we are in awe of something or find it really cool or neat, we ask questions because I want to learn. I want to learn. It's like not so that I can like one up you, but it's like I want to learn. I think it's really neat because, you know, who knows what other doors are out there that could conceivably be opened. But the bottom line is they're jealous. And if they asked more questions, they would shrink and shrink and shrink, because for them it's a competition and they wouldn't be able to compete. All right, Jenetta, go.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know if it's eloquent, but it's certainly a different way that, or a different gear I changed into, even before this greatest life test of mine. I would say my gear changed when I had cancer 23 years ago and nearly died. And even back then, I began to see the essence of what it is I now help people to look at in a bigger way. And there's definitely a lot of threatened people out there. There's no denial to that. And they're on their own path and their own journey. And there's a reason why they're threatened. And there's a reason why they may or may not be addressing those deep threats. And we always say you have to walk a mile in a man or a woman's moccasins to really understand what it is that they're actually going through. And for me, it's understanding that I choose my tribe now, and I attract my tribe to me that are that resonate at what I'm doing and in my belief system. And I understand that anybody else outside that tribe isn't lesser or superior. They're just on a different path. And also what I've also learned is that it's really easy to say, I wish I had everybody on my page, and that everybody was kind and gentle and peace-filled, because that would be amazing. But in the real world, if everybody was like that, we would get very complacent and boring. And I've noticed that it's when I'm challenged by those who are not in alignment with me and might even be downright nasty, that I start growing, searching, and doing a whole load of work with, by way of example, my process that makes me become more insightful and open-hearted. So I always give thanks to those people who appear to be backstabbing me. And I've also go one step further than that, in that I've realized in the world of balance, if I've got 100 people going, wow, Jenetta's amazing, and well, I hope I have, but Jenetta's amazing and she's this, that, and the other, I'm going to have 100 people coming in who don't agree with that. And I've now learned to understand and appreciate those who don't identify with me, because they are my most precious teachers and they're my most precious balance outers. And I wish I didn't have to have them, but I wouldn't go without it at all, because I would get too complacent. And my biggest test, I have to share, talking about an example. About 8 years ago, I had a client who was a blow-the-whistle journalist and a Wall Street heiress. And for various reasons, she went out to assassinate me online and attack me on every social media level that she could find. And she had a fair amount of clout. And the most amazing things started happening, that people in my tribe started stepping forward. And she attacked me on my Facebook page. And instead of taking her down, I allowed it to play out, because I wanted to see where it would take things. I mean, it was just devastating on one level and very growth-filled on another. And I decided to take that step back and watch what was happening and not respond. And a whole load of people, some of them I hadn't heard from in a long time, started stepping on my Facebook platform and going, who on earth are you? And surely if you'd met Jenetta, you'd see a side to her that's not like that. And she was trying every which way to get me to respond and do a knee-jerk reaction back to her, until the moment she knew she'd actually gone too far, when she actually said, well, Jenetta, you're not responding, but where was your, what was her wording? Where was your accountability for killing your daughter? And that assassinated her, because everybody just about wanted to kill her. And this is the thing, she taught me so much. I realized it was my biggest fear, and she'd helped me face my biggest fear of being attacked like that so publicly. And now it doesn't faze me. So without her, I wouldn't have had that growth spurt. And I really believe that it is about balancing out both the challenge of those that agree with you and the challenge of those who do. And there's a challenge in those who do as well. So it's finding that balance.
I love this discussion. Fantastic. Dr. Desiree, would you like to comment on what Kathy and Janetta have shared?
Oh, yes, certainly, yes. Let's start off with Janetta. Hmm. You know, sometimes there are people in the world, and I think each and every one has a way of dealing with things. So sometimes people come in our lives to take us on a journey of self-discovery, finding our true purpose, our true passion, and we have to go through these challenges in terms of backstabbing, betrayal, deceitfulness, and these are some of the stepping stones that we have to walk on to get on our path. So, like Janetta says, that these are some of the challenges because people sometimes they have problems within themselves that they have to deal with. You know, it's not our fault that they feel this way. The only thing that we can do when they feel this way is to send them love, even though they might have done us something that is terrible. And because they need to work on themselves, they need to find self love and they need to feel better about themselves. And the only thing that you can do is send them positive energy, but also you can't really change them if they don't want to change, you know? And it's you can try your best to do things or to create more awareness for people to change their personalities and their attitudes and their behaviors towards other people who, you know, who hasn't done them anything, you know. And so I believe that sometimes that as individuals, uh, individually, they are going through certain things that they themselves need to be empowered, they need to be healed. Maybe something has happened in their lives and they just took that energy and take it out on other people and they're upset about how their lives are going and they see you going on a different journey and you're manifesting, you're becoming successful, you're climbing up the ladder, and they are upset to see that, and I don't know why. And they sit down behind your back and plan, like, how can I destroy this person? Just for no reason. So I think that people needs to self-love, love themselves, feel happy on the inside and heal because this is the only way that they can become better people. And by trying to destroy someone else's lives for no reason, sometimes you're making that person stronger. You're making that person more responsible for, you know, even moving higher in their lives by having that experience with you. So I think sometimes people come in our lives to teach us so many lessons along our journey. And like I said, that, you know, you take all of this with a pinch of salt, you don't focus your energy there, and you just send them healing, love, and hopefully that, you know, along their journey that they will, you know, they will realize what they're doing or what they have done, and make something that is so important, like changing themselves, their behavior, and their attitudes, and becoming that better person. So, you know, sometimes we can't change everyone, but we can create awareness where emotional intelligence comes into play because people are unhappy in their lives and they don't want to accept that other people are really working hard to better their lives, and they are really against that because they want the person to be stuck like them. They want to you know, to pass negative energy, to backstab them, to create a chaos in their lives because they feel like they shouldn't have more. And then there are some people, they have everything, but then they don't want someone else to have the same things as them. And it's okay for them to be on this level, but it's not okay for the other person to come to that level and pass them. So they use this behavior of jealousy and envy and backstabbing because it all down to selfishness and not selflessness, and it's all down to the individual and how they think and how they feel on the inside. So self-love, self healing, and of course, wishing others well and improving your personal life, and be inspired instead of being intimidated or envious of another person's ability to go on out in the world and shine. Is be in alignment, like, wow, how is JENETTA doing it? How is Dr. CATHY is doing it? And how is Dr. Jacalyn? What are they doing to achieve such great things in life, and be inspired by that instead of living from a place of trying to pull them down the ladder or trying to push them back down the ladder, but more of, wow, I'm inspired to even do more.
Thank you so much. I love all of these thoughtful responses. It's fabulous. I just wanted to share one thing as we get ready to close out. So I sent out our newsletter, I think on Wednesday, and it was the first newsletter I've done in 6 months. And then I had partners last year who were doing the newsletter, and there's a lot of work. If anyone has a newsletter, there's so much work that goes into it. And I'm on a ton of newsletter lists that I get from people, and I get them, and I like to read, what are people doing? What's their format? What's the content they're sharing? So I guess it was last year, I really started looking when people would unsubscribe. Like, I would take the time to go and look and see who is unsubscribing. And I found that we would get really good open rates, but yet people I was close to before the pandemic had unsubscribed, and it hurt me. Like, I took it so personally. So this was the first newsletter of the year, as I mentioned, and 12 people unsubscribed. And I looked at the list differently. It had a really good open rate, but I looked at the 12 people, and I would say half of them have been on the platform recently. And the first thing that popped into my head was that little ego. And I thought, they're not coming on the platform again. If I see them sign up, I'm going to reach out to them and say, you can't come because you unsubscribed. And then I said to myself, all right, take a deep breath. It's very shallow and egocentric. Of course, they can come back on the platform. You're probably just not adding content that they're interested in, but they're interested in sharing their story. They're just not interested in what this channel is doing. So I looked at it from a different way. But to me, going back to last year, I did take it personally, because it's like, if I hosted you and you were here, can't you just let the email go into your junk file? Or can't you just delete it without unsubscribing? And then I thought, why am I spending all this time even worrying about it? So I'm looking at it in a different way than I was before. Does that make any sense?
Oh, I like that. I like that so much, because it's multifaceted, these things. There could be a billion reasons why each one individually unsubscribed. You just don't know. You don't know what's going on in their lives, or where their focus is, or what happened at that time that they unsubscribed. And it's so easy to blanket a knee-jerk reaction like that. And I just love what you're saying. It's about going,
and
different.
And the other thing is, I mean, I can understand why you would take it personally. I can see that, because
Absolutely.
you've done something lovely for them, and it's almost like, how dare they? But I mean, like, if you knew me in technology, and really knew me in technology, I've had some of the most bizarre things happen to me. I have unsubscribed from things that I didn't even realize I had unsubscribed from, number one. And that's the honest to God's truth. Number two, on Facebook, people have become unfriended, I'm sure by me. And I didn't even realize it. Look, I mean, I know you know me, but you really don't know me. I mean, I'm not going to be like malicious and mean that way, like try to be, direct indirectly. If I'm pissed off, I'll tell you. I will tell you. I'm not going to unsubscribe. But I'm just saying, like stuff happens, and I don't know that's the case, but it's like JENETTA said, there could be a billion reasons why. Also, I mean, if you think about all the stuff that people get in their emails, sometimes I think that if I didn't have junk mail, I would have no email. I mean,
Files.
some days it's that way. It's like I got nothing
Yeah.
that is pertinent. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, but I do understand. I do understand your feeling.
Yeah,
But I
thank you.
wouldn't take it personally.
Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Well, this has been another fun show. And we have to close out because our Talking Heads is coming up next with Mariska Dupree. So thank you, ladies. Please, as I spotlight you, please share how people can reach out to you, what you're doing, anything you want to let them know, whether it's on this channel, off this channel, on another channel, it doesn't matter. Let's start with JENETTA.
Right. Well, you can reach me at theepiphanyprocess.com, and I assist anybody who's feeling challenged in being able to communicate or not able to communicate, to be able to become more focused and clear and certain. So if you'd like to know how to gain those tools, do talk to me. And in terms of this platform, this is my third show today. I'm on 3 shows, going into 4 from next week. And we have the Art of Mental Health Wealth that Dr. Jacalyn and I co-host. I have my Talking Head show where I talk more on the in-depth of the yin and yang of science. And of course, this show. And next week, well, watch this space. So thank you so much, Dr. Jacalyn. As always, such an honor and pleasure to be here.
Go ahead and share with them about the new show. I'd love for you to do that.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Well, the new show next week is the Adventure Show. So we're talking to people from all over the world who are on or have been on adventures or showing different parts of the world in different aspects. And one of the people we'll be talking to is my son, Neil. He's been 8 years in the Okavango Delta and has some amazing stories there. But at the beginning of this year, in January, he decided that post-COVID and with the mix of a whole load of things that should have happened and didn't happen, he was going to follow the universe and get in his Toyota Prado 4x4 with his 2 little children and his wife. And they traveled from Botswana through to South Africa, right through Namibia. Now, bear in mind, my granddaughters are 7 and 2, so that they're young. Through the deserts of Namibia and up through the Caprivi Strip into Angola, northern Botswana into Zimbabwe and through to Mozambique. So that alone is quite an adventure. So we've got many people like that that'll be coming on the show.
All right. Thank you very much, JENETTA. I appreciate it. Cathy, I'm going to go over to you. And if you could also include anyone who's interested in sponsorships.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. So what I do on a daily basis is interior design and exterior design. So if you are needing a space redecorated or starting from scratch, I'm your gal, and I would love to help you. Also, if you have a loved one that needs some care, we provide hourly and live-in care. So, reach out to me if any of those items are on your to-do list. The other thing that I'm doing is I take care of the sponsorships, and you guys have probably seen the fantastic commercials that air in between, when we take a commercial break. And so I have taken on that role. And so if anyone is interested in working on a sponsorship with me, we develop the commercial. We talk with you about the packages that we have available. And so, the reach is around the world here. So, I think it's the perfect place for particularly any entrepreneur. So please feel free to reach out to me and just call me 703-895-3798 or on my other cell phone, 703-402-1234. 1172. Love to hear from you.
Thank you, Kathy. I was like, oh, I've got the wrong number. Okay,
No.
good. It is your number. That's great.
One is the personal phone, one is the bat phone, you know?
Okay, excellent. And Dr. Desiree, how can people reach you?
Desiree Richardson is on the on the screen. So also my email address is desiree.richardson@gmail.com. You can also find me on all social media platforms, from LinkedIn to Facebook to Instagram, and also with Desiree Richardson. You can follow me on social media. And of course, you can visit my website, which is www.desiree.com. And also join us on November 12th in London for a spectacular show that's Women of Heart Awards 488 London. It's a celebration. It's an award ceremony with a difference. You know, you come out whether you are a awardee or let's say / recipient or honoree. We want you to come out. It's a night to celebrate women, and it's a night to have women on one stage, entertainment, and also it's the launch as well of Gentlemen of Heart Awards. And we have a lot of amazing men from the care industry held together by men. Who's also going to be there on the night. So I'm inviting each and every one of you, all of the listeners, or viewers across the world, to come on down to London, November 12th, and visit www.womenofheartawards.com and also .org for much more information on venue and time. Yes, November 12th, make it a date in your calendar.
Thank you so much. And I just want to spell your name for people on the radio or people who are not reading the banner. It's Desiree, DESZIRE.Richardson@gmail.com.
And thank you once again. Thank you all for, taking your time out to listen to us. And thank you, Dr. Jacalyn, for being part of such an amazing platform, an amazing show. So, and all my love to all of our women here tonight. All my love to you.
Well, thank you so much to each and every one of you. This was a great show, and I just really appreciate you showing up and taking the time and sharing your thoughts, your experience, and just being beautiful people. So we are going to say goodbye for now because Mariska's waiting for me in the other studio. So stay tuned wherever you are to our Talking Heads next segment, except for JENETTA, who has to go to bed. It's too late. And I think Dr. Desiree, it's late for you as well. But thank you all. All right. Saying goodbye for now, and I'll be back shortly. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.